Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. This is Coach Paula, your life transitions coach. It is Sunday night and it is Super Bowl night. So it is February the 11th. It is not Sunday 7 and 7, although this segment is Sunday 7 and 7. It is like 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm getting on a little bit late, so I will apologize. And so I want to get on here, do my 7 minutes, and share with you, and then I want to jump off. Okay. So I've been sharing in the month of February. This is my second segment for February. I've been sharing about my husband. And so for the month of love, I've been sharing life lessons from having a relationship with him. And so tonight's lesson I want to talk about, since this is like Valentine's weekend sort of thing, I want to talk about something that happened to me when I was a sophomore in college. Yep, it was my sophomore year. And it was Valentine's weekend. I'm gonna monitor my 7 minutes. It was Valentine's weekend, and I was planning an event for me and my boyfriend at the time, which was not Brother Martin, which was not my captain. I had been dating a guy for 4 years, and he was going to come to my apartment in Maryland for Valentine's weekend, and we were going to have, Valentine's, okay? And so the guy broke my heart, basically. He broke up with me over the phone, never came to Maryland, stayed where he was. I won't say where that was, so I won't give stuff away. And he literally broke my heart. And so here I am. I had poured all my resources, all my available time, energy, and everything into making this a nice weekend. And so here I am sitting in this apartment all alone. And to be honest, I felt I had no reason to live. I'm gonna be honest. And I had bad thoughts and things I wanted to do. And I was like, I can't. That guy didn't deserve that much level of power in my life. And so I decided, I need to go home. I need to see my parents. But how am I going to get home? So I decided to call Martin. He was a friend. He always offered to help. And so I'm like, let's see if he's really going to help me. And so he drove from Pennsylvania down to Maryland to pick me up. When we got there, he came and he had flowers and chocolates and a really big teddy bear, to try to encourage me and lift my spirits. We weren't in any type of romantic relationship or anything like that, but he was just being a friend. And so I was like, well, do I have to rush home? Can we grab something to eat? And can we do some stuff? And so we did. We stopped and got dinner. And he took me back home. And the whole point that I want to make, and I'm going to do my 7 minutes, y'all. The whole point I want to make with um, the whole event and how he supported me and how he was a friend to me is that he showed unconditional love. He didn't judge me, because I was doing some stuff I shouldn't have been especially as a Christian woman, and he never judged me. He never said anything negatively toward me. He encouraged me, and he knew that I was in a bad state, and he encouraged me in that moment. And that was one of the things that I loved and I appreciated about my husband. And I think a life lesson that I've learned from him is that a friend loveth at all times. And a friend will have to say things to you at certain times, but a friend uses discretion to know when to say it and when not to say it. And that was one of the things I really learned from him. And one of the other things in keeping with that was that he showed unconditional love. Like I remember I used to ask my husband, "Why do you love me?" And he would say, "I don't know why I love you." And I would be like, "What? How can you say you don't know why you love me? Like, I don't understand. How can you not know why you love me?" He's like, "It's if I had a reason, if I could say I love you because of X, Y, and Z, then that would make my love for you conditional. But my love for you is not conditional. I simply love you. It's not because you do this or because you don't do that. It's because you're simply who you are and I love you." And that took some time to resonate in this skull of mine. But the more I thought about it and when it did begin to resonate, I appreciated the fact that he simply loved me. It was unconditional. It wasn't about anything that I could have done. It wasn't about anything that I didn't do. It was just simply because he loved me. That's the way Christ loves us. And My husband exemplified that to me. So, my question to you in my remaining 2 minutes is, how are you exhibiting unconditional love? We talk about February and being the love month and all of that, and there's a whole lot of love going on this weekend, a whole lot of love going on this week and throughout this month. But when February is over, how will you continue to show unconditional love in your friendships and in your relationships? How will you show forth love that's not judgmental, but love that is encouraging, love that is uplifting, love that is supportive, love that is given at all times? How will you do that? Last week we talked about showing up in our relationships and giving the gift of presence. But when you show up and you give the gift of presence, are you bringing a loving atmosphere with it? And so that's our challenge this week. That's what we want to focus on, not simply just showing up like we did last week, but when we show up, are we bringing a loving environment? When we show up, are people glad to see us come, or are they hoping that we leave? What are we bringing? What are we sharing with others? How are we showing up? Are we showing up in a loving manner? Is it unconditional, or do we have conditions tied to the love that we give to others? So let's examine ourselves this week, and let's purpose and let's be intentional about loving unconditionally. A friend loves us all. A friend loves at all times. A friend is someone that truly sticks closer to you than a brother. And I encourage you to do that this week. Show forth the love, be unconditional, and be intentional about it. So I hope in these 7 minutes I have shifted your energy and awaken your potential. I'll check in with you over the course of the week to see how you're making out. Take care and have a good evening. Bye bye.